All right, hello everyone. It's Michael Wright again today. And today we're going to be talking about how I like to draft my affidavits. If you don't know what an affidavit is, it's a sworn testimony under penalty of perjury, okay? But it's not a verbal testimony, this is a documented testimony. And it functions as evidence. It could be used for various legal matters. Could be a civil case, could be a criminal case. Regardless, let's get right into the matter, and I want to show you how I like to do this personally. So this is just a very basic template, very basic. So the affiant, if you don't know, that's the individual who's going to be giving the testimony. So if I'm the one giving the testimony, then I am the affiant this time. So therefore I'd fill out my county, I'd fill out my state, my name, print my name there. And now let's talk about the specific subject. Let's see, because I'm just giving you guys an example. Let's say I like chocolate ice cream. How about that? Now remember, this is a statement made under penalty of perjury. So anything you say in an affidavit, anything you say under penalty of perjury, period, must be true. If it's not, you've committed perjury. Perjury is a felony. Don't do that. Don't do that. You get in huge trouble for perjury. Not okay. I think it's like 10 years in prison or something. I can't even remember off the top of my head, but you do not want to go down that road. Anyways, so let's cover the ice cream example. So I love eating chocolate ice cream. I'm just in a hurry right now, so I'm not really focusing on my grammar just a ton. But anyways, I want you guys to understand as well, your affidavits don't have to fit a certain mold, if you will, or a certain formula. You just want to include as much detail as possible in your testimony about whatever it is you're talking about. That's a pretty big deal. I like to include as much detail. I mean, if you don't, who am I going to convince if I don't have sufficient details on the matter? I love eating chocolate ice cream. Yesterday, here's an example of some details. Yesterday, 4.25-24, I went to an ice cream store and ordered a banana split with hot fudge. With hot fudge and chocolate ice cream. And 2 scoops of. See, and this is just a very generic statement. So let's say I just wanted to make the point. I think I made my point about the ice cream here. I provided details. The details I like to include are the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why, typically. So let's make sure I covered the 5 W's. Who, it's me. Did what? I went to an ice cream store and ordered a banana split. Okay. When? Yesterday, 4:24. Okay. Oh, I should say the exact time. Let's just say at 4 o'clock p.m. CST. And ordered a banana split with hot fudge and 2 scoops. Okay. Who, what, when, where? We could just say a ice cream store. We'll say a. We're gonna make one up in this instance. We'll say. Let's say. Frosty Robin. Frosty Robbins. There we go. I went to Frosty Robbins and ordered a banana split with hot fudge and 2 scoops of chocolate ice cream. Okay? So that's the who, me, did what? I went and did this thing. When? I did it on this date and at that time. Where? At Frosty Robbins. And why? Because I love eating chocolate ice cream. You see that? I covered the 5 points. That's how I like to do that. But let's keep going. I think it'd be beneficial to show it maybe in another context too. Let's say I was dealing with a matter of some sort of a crime. Let's say I saw a crime take place and I saw public servants doing something they should not be doing. So we'll say excuse me. Four dot 26.24. And we're just gonna say my name is, for the sake of it here, my name is Mad Max. Mad Max. Okay. We'll say I live in Apocalypse County. Yeah, why not? Fix my spelling. I live in Apocalypse County of. Let's see, what state? Let's just say New York. New York. You know what? We're going to go ahead and change the date as well. So we're going to say 3024. I'm just running with the whole future landscape scenario right now. Obviously, I'm not signing this off. This is not going to be a real affidavit. That's why, I'm just having a little bit of fun right now. But you must be accurate, and what you say in an affidavit must be true. So, okay, maybe I'll change my name. I don't need you guys getting confused here. Max. Let's say Max Strongman. That's my name. Max Strongman. I saw Officer Corrupt. No. Let's say Officer Badman. Deprive a citizen of New York of their constitutional, we'll say of their, I'm going to say their God-given rights in this time. Their God-given right to life. Nah, okay, not in this instance. In this instance, we'll say liberty by confiscating his property without due process. Nope. Let's make it better. By arresting a man without a criminal charge. See that? That's a big deal. I saw Officer Badman deprive a citizen of New York of their God-given right to liberty by arresting a man without a criminal charge. That's not okay. So now I would the right to liberty is protected as outlined in the Declaration of Independence under natural law. It's also protected in the Constitution as well, several areas. But we're going to look at the Fifth Amendment right off the bat. And the Fifth Amendment says, protects the right of liberty for all men. They have due process. Due process cannot be commenced in this situation alleged against the suspect. There you go. All right, so let's make sure we got the 5 W's here. We got the who, I, and arguably Officer Badman and the citizen. The what, the situation taking place. Okay, when, boom. Where. All right, let's add it. By arresting a man where did it happen? Outside of Frosty Robbins. On Mulberry Street. In Dr. Seuss City. Or maybe, oh, here we go. New. Yeah, this is better. New York City. Boom. Okay, that's the where and the why. Yeah, I think all of this is sufficient for the why. And now you just need to sign off. If you're good to go with your affidavit, or if let's say I'm good to go with my affidavit in this instance, what I do is real simple. I just back off from adding any additional wording. I sign off here, and then everything down here, I don't touch this. Nothing on this page is me. This would all be the notary. So the notary would handle that. You got to get it notarized, to be clear. If you're doing an affidavit, you got to get it notarized. Now, there are statements that can be made under penalty of perjury as well, or a declaration under penalty of perjury, and that is sufficient in the event that you don't have time to get the notary seal. So it's very similar. It's basically the same thing as an affidavit, it's just not notarized. But the notary makes a pretty big difference when it comes to legal matters. So, but it's not always easy getting that notary. It's not. Where is a notary at? A bank, UPS, law firms, process servers are also notaries as well. Those are just some of the places off the top of my head. But anyways, that's how I like to do affidavits. Hopefully that made sense. And now with my affidavit here, I could go forward and submit this as evidence when if they try to prosecute that man, we're going to call this man Mr. Goodman. Okay, so Mr. Goodman of New York I saw this is not sufficient. I saw officer, and that's right, Badman is his actual name in this instance, so you need to do that right. Officer we'll just do Badman. Okay, so now I was a little bit more clear. I elaborated on the name of the officer who committed this offense and who the offense was committed against. I'm clarifying I'm a witness to the offense and what offense took place, why this is unacceptable, and now I could help out Mr. Goodman in order to protect him from Officer Badman, who arrested him without even assigning a criminal charge, if you will. And that's a violation of due process. I mean, honestly, that's just a right to, that's a deprivation of rights. And then you would say, this is considered Okay, so let's back it up. Now I would put what the actual crime is that was committed in this instance for a little bit more detail. And I would put what the code is associated with that crime. Or if it's something outlined in the Constitution, then I'd put, because there are some crimes listed in the Constitution, one of which is treason. And you could just put that in there. Just like, boom, treason. But if it's not a crime specifically outlined in the Constitution, then go find the code or whatever it is for that respective law that was being violated or the crime that took place and add it in, and we'll say this is considered a violation. This is considered deprivation of rights under color of law. this act by officer bad man is considered and now I would just say it's in this instance it's I don't remember the exact title. Well, I'm just gonna make it up. We'll say Title 40 of United States Code 123. That's not the correct code, obviously, for this statute. You could go look it up yourself, what the exact code is. I'm not gonna give it to you right now. But I think this is sufficient. So it's a pretty good example. That is very detailed. And now you can submit this testimony in order to help protect Mr. Goodman from Officer Badman in this instance. Or, excuse me, if you saw someone else's rights were being violated or something along those lines, and let's say it wasn't in this instance, you could even tweak your affidavit in a different way and say, hey, I saw the government, specify who in government, commit this crime and outline what the crime is, when they did it, and say clearly why it's a crime. And if you start submitting an affidavit like that, and you had many other people submit affidavits in regards to that same matter, everyone's reinforcing the same things like, hey, we all saw this thing happen. That's a big deal. It's very powerful. So anyway, this is a general idea of how I like to do my affidavits.